Hello, I'm Stephen. What studio? Liverpool. Writer, composer, botherer. Today I'm asking the question, is it worth starting a studio in 2026? Let's have a look at that sausage over there. Match fade, match fade. Okay. Is it worth starting a studio in 2026? Is it worth starting a studio in 2026? When did I start my studio? I started my studio in 2019. I started being a recording engineer 26 years ago. I don't know. I never wanted to do this. I never wanted to do this. I just did it with a mobile rig for myself and some friends, and that kind of went like that. And then a building came up now and again that I'd use, and then it got to a better building, and then I had to be legally there, and then I had to get some other stuff, and then I had to get some other things to make that stuff not look like it wasn't working properly, and then people kept hiring me, and then I was legally like a business, and then insurances and stuff like that, and then and now this, and now I'll never have any access to any money again because I just want to buy compressors and stuff like that. So why did I do it? Well, I did it because I just kind of totally was already doing it. That was that. But if I was starting, I just wouldn't do it. There's just there's a night, and I have to say, ignorance really is bliss. Naivety is a wonderful thing. If I should have if I'd have had have should have known some of the things that I had to deal with, I probably wouldn't have done. I mean, also, I was also really interested in being self-employed. I've been self-employed for years, as a like a botherer, content botherer, and so I was quite used to doing that and little jobs for that and getting by. That was always on the cards, but it was not going to be a studio based lifestyle. I don't think that was never really on the horizon because there's just too much stuff, and um, ultimately I was just on a different thread. I was doing a lot of video work as it happens, but now doing it. I was always intending to get away from doing work for other people, being a self-employed person. That was one of the key aims. No, don't have a boss, and make your own decisions and things like that. But now I am doing this, and I've got my own studio, and that's wonderful. I'm not complaining here; it's absolutely bliss. But it is hospitality. Like a lot of it is hospitality. It must be. If I don't do hospitality right, it's not a nice experience for people. So there's a lot of things I have to consider. There's a lot of just getting things right and comfort and luxury of keeping it like not like a practice room. It can't be a practice room, can it? It can't be like that. It's got to be, as Mr. Joel Hamilton says, the mint on the pillow is a consideration, and that could be just meaning the bottle of water for the drummer, etc. Right? So there's just a lot of things to consider about getting it as wonderful as experience as possible, and without it being cheesy. Like I do try to do that to the very best of my ability, and thankfully I've got a lot of volunteers who pitch in, so it makes it a lot easier. So they get a nice, everyone gets a real coffee and so on and so forth. When we're there to work. We're there to work, and they get a very lovely sunlit experience. So if I was starting a studio in 2026, why would you be doing that when people can do things from home? Well, I think there still needs to be an experience of the band or the artist performing or having an event, being somewhere. That's why I kind of have opened it, because the space I've got is so interesting and so cool. It would just be remiss of me not to have done something. And I was familiar with the building prior, and I'd do it in somewhere else. It's not just a box in Sandhills or whatever. It's something nice. That's a bit of an event to turn up to and be part of. So I think like starting a studio, you can do that from your laptop and just visit people and do things. Anyone can be in anything, right? Especially with the recording facility and the equipment available these days. But so just do that and call yourself a studio. That's it. And then the next stage is having a facility or a space. I think that is unique, and not just like because anyone can just put the drums in the room. I mean, the cool drum sound at the moment is the sound of just a bedroom sound of drums. And do you think that's by accident? I don't think it is. I think it's just because of that's what's going on. Um, so yeah, so is it worth? Of course, it's worth doing. Um, but I mean, I can't answer actually. Is it worth doing? To be honest with you, I don't know.